Hello and welcome everybody to Game 2 of Lucky vs. Cloud from the Go4SC2 Cup. Spawning in the right position as the purple Zerg. Playing from Team FXO, we have Lucky. His opponent spawning in the left position as the yellow Terran. Playing from Team Alternate Attacks, we have Cloud. Now, Cloud was the winner of Game 1. Here in Game 2, though, the map is going to be Dual Site, which I think is a good map here by Lucky. Zerg players tend to usually be okay with this map just because of the openness of the middle of the map, the center of the map. It's fairly easy to take the center of the map. Taking expansions isn't too bad just because if you look at the way the bases are laid out, you can see that from Cloud's exit to his main, you can see that it's kind of in the opposite direction to the direction that Lucky is going to want to be expanding. If we look on the minimap here, Lucky is going to be wanting to take his natural expansion from his main. This is his third, this as his fourth. So he's kind of wrapping around this way, whereas generally Cloud will be wrapping around this way. So that means that the movement of Cloud's army is also going to be in this direction. So Cloud is actually going to be moving his army away from the expansions of Lucky. Lucky's expansions are going to keep moving this way, whereas Cloud, if he wants to keep his expansions defended as he expands, is going to need to keep his army in this lower position. So this is one reason that a lot of Zerg players tend to like this map for the ZVT matchup, and for ZVP as well. So it looks like Cloud so far throwing down that barracks. He did throw down that one refinery. There's one little thing that you should note. Anytime you get to your opponent's base, as well as Zerg, as Protoss, as Terran, as anything, if you scout that they immediately went for that supply depot, it's actually almost impossible to get a fast supply depot down here if you get this refinery. So a lot of times if you poke up with this drone, and you scout early, if you scout early and you poke up with this drone and you see that there are actually two supply depots and a barracks blocking off their ramp, you can almost always bet that there is no gas actually there. And that's assuming you scout around the 10 food, or anywhere between the 10 and 13 food mark. You should be all right. Looks like Cloud now going to be coming across the map for a scout of his own. SCV going to move into the base. See that Lucky did go for a fast expansion here, followed by Pool, followed by Gas. So his Zergling speed here is going to be just a little bit delayed. There is an Overlord in position to scout the natural expansion here for Cloud. So far, no factory being thrown down yet, but I do expect that a factory is going to be thrown down here very soon. We do see that the Tech Lab did go down on the barracks, and now the Reaper is now moving out across the map. So I think this is going to be a similar build as the build we saw in Game 1 from Cloud. I do not think that we're going to be seeing the fast command center. It's a little bit more risky to be taking a fast third command center on this map because on Shakur's Plateau, you kind of take your natural, which has one ramp to it that you defend. Here, you can see that the attack angle for Lucky is actually huge. He can attack from almost 180 degrees here. This entire area is one big surface area for Lucky to attack, so it's much, much harder to defend that natural expansion position. So taking a fast third here would be much, much, much riskier. Now we do see that that Reaper has moved across the map now, starting to do some damage to this hatchery, but it looks like, for the most part, Lucky is just going to let that damage happen. He's going to put some Lings in position just in case that Reaper decides to jump up onto the high ground, but now he's going right back to drone production. He knows his opponent isn't committing too much because with this Overlord, he did actually see that this command center went down here for Cloud, so he does know that this command center is coming up, and he knows his opponent went for that fast expansion. We do see that the factory is now down here for Cloud. No Blue Flame on the way quite yet. We do see Hellions are on the way, but I would expect to see some Blue Flame just because he did swap that factory onto this Tech Lab. In the meantime, this reactor has been swapped onto this barracks. No doubt we're going to be seeing double Marines being produced here for a little while, and there we go. Now the Blue Flame Hellions now being researched. Once that Blue Flame Hellion upgrade is done, this factory will be swapped onto that reactor so that he can start to double produce Hellions to take full advantage of that Blue Flame Hellion upgrade. In the meantime, in the base of Lucky, still only operating on one gas. Zergling speed was started, and he's continuing to mine gas, starting to save up a little bit of gas here. No layer being taken, actually. Kind of curious to know what he's going to be using that gas for. We do actually see a second gas going down right now, and there we do now have the tech path of Lucky revealed. We do see that the Roach Warren, as well as a Baneling Nest, is going down here for Lucky. So, you know what? I'm almost thinking, I don't think he scouted the factory. don't know. He never actually scouted the factory. He scouted the tech lab going down on the barracks, but that was all he knew about. He doesn't have any knowledge, but he is sending a Zergling to his opponent's base right now. He's going to be scouting very soon. 2 Hellions are moving out right now for Cloud as well, and oh, it looks like he didn't actually manage to get up into the base, so he still doesn't know that there are Hellions out on the way right now. Where did those Hellions go? There they are. They are at the Xel'Naga watchtower in the center of the map. The Reaper has taken the other one, so looks like Cloud has a good amount of map control right now, but oh my goodness, we see a lot of roaches now coming down on the production tab here for Lucky. We see 10 roaches currently on the production tab. We see a Baneling nest just now completing as well. He is going to be operating off of 2 gas here. With that, he's going to be able to get quite a good number of roaches up here pretty quick, and this is just a little bit... I hesitate to use the word all in. It's not entirely all in, but it's going to be a very strong early push. That is for certain. He could be using these larvae for drones, but no, he's going to be committing them to going for an early attack. It just means that he's going to need to do some damage with this early push if he's going to want to really push in. Now, we do see that Cloud actually not having seen anything at all. He didn't actually see that Roach Warren go down at all, but he has blindly gone for Marauders. The Hellions are now out on the map, so I think what Cloud was doing here was actually he was trying to go for a blind counter here. He was going to try to go for Blue Flame Hellions to force Roach production and then move in with Marauders, but I think Lucky's actually going to have the jump on him before he can really get this up and running. He's going to move in with lots of Lings and lots of Banelings. We do see that there are currently 16 Banelings being produced right now. In the meantime, Blue Flame Hellions are moving into the natural expansion here of Lucky, but this is a lot of Banelings are now moving in, taking out the bunkers, taking out the supply depots. Lings now rushing in with tons and tons of roaches, now moving in, dealing damage to all of these Marauders that are now going to go down. SCVs now being pulled off the line. It looks like the Hellions have now been cleaned up here. A little bit of miscontrol there from Cloud as he's not quite paying attention to those Hellions that are in the natural. They are going to be cleaned up by that one Queen. There is still one running around, but there are more forces from Lucky now streaming across the map right now. We see lots and lots of Zerglings on the production tab. More and more Banelings being produced right now. The orbital command was lifted up here by Cloud, but there is not a whole lot going on in the main for Cloud right now. And is he going to be able to hold this off? There are so many Banelings now moving up the ramp here of Cloud. They're going to start to focus down these supply depots and the tech labs. They are going to indeed fall. Lings and Roaches now streaming into the base of Cloud with a brilliant push here from Lucky, as I think that is going to be GG from Cloud, as the number of roaches here is just too high, and there's the GG from Cloud, meaning that Lucky has taken Game 2, evening it up to 1-1, pushing it to Game 3. Stick with me, guys. Game 3 of Cloud versus Lucky coming up in just a moment to determine the winner of this series. Stick with me.